Hey, it's Monday morning. I need some sleep. It's Monday evening, and EOS has decided to get some profit taking for off the news, which was kind of expected. The buy the rumor, sell the news kind of deal. So I want to look at that chart, and another chart that's being talked about with some hype is Cardano. So I'm going to look at ADA also because their test net is coming out. So it's getting a little pump from that, and but the whole gist of this video is that um, I trade indicators. I don't trade the news. A lot of times the news causes emotion, but a whole bunch of news comes out. But to me, if the news is large enough, it will show up in the indicators. In other words, it will be a strong enough news item to have an inflection point in the market to where you're moving from a bullish to bearish, just a flip of that primary trend. So if the news is just emotion and people are trading off of and it keeps the primary trend in check, then the news really doesn't matter to me. So I really don't follow the news. I mean, I do for other reasons, but not for when I do charting. So that's why I want to look at the charts and forget the news and see what's happening between the buyers and the sellers. So let's take a look here. All right, I'm just gonna go over EOS real quick. I did a video on Saturday prior to the announcement. Given where the patterns were headed, it was sitting up around its high during the announcement, and I was saying if it did, break out to the upside, it had some movement here to $11 up to 15, but the news was kind of kind of ho hum. I like the content. They definitely need some practice on getting hyped up and getting that message out because it was kind of dull. But the content I thought was pretty cool. But given what's happening in the market here, I was looking for a pullback. Actually, the first level I was thinking it was this little leg right here. So when you look at this Fibonacci retracement off of this level right here, that's right where we're sitting on this drop. I mean, it's dropped what 10% today, or at least over the last 24 hours, and we're sitting at $6.81 on the 61.8% level. Right, we're currently at 693. So this should be an area that we should find some buying interest. And one of the reasons for that, when you look at this ADX, the ADX is dropping a little bit on a day over day basis. So the momentum's still in a range where there's strength, but it's dropping, and it's dropping as these are converging. So I mean, the last time it was dropping and the things converged, the market retraced back to a 61.8% level and kind of held and consolidated in before it rallied. So we're looking like it could get down into an area of consolidation again. We're still in the bullish zone in the RSI. The RSI would have to dip down below this line to give us kind of that inflection point to bring the bears on a lot stronger for the primary trend. So most likely, once this gets down into this level, we're going to be testing some of these support levels down in here if it gets there. But right now, I think we could see some buying interest off of this. Not that it's going to launch to new highs, but it might stay in consolidation and see where these indicators take us to see if it's going to build the bulls back up. So I went all through this chart the other day. So if you want, go back and look at the video, and I kind of explain everything in it. But I just wanted to show, we're at 680 right now. If you take this Fibonacci down to the previous low here, this is the area I really like because it matches up with the 61.8% and that previous high, which is right around 620. And I think that's what I told a lot of people that's going to be the area that I'm looking to buy. That anywhere between 620 and 680 would be an area of support. So I think you're going to find buying interest in here. So given that, let's move on. Let's move on over to uh, Cardano. Looking at ADA um, on this chart. Uh, I got a lot going on here too. Couple of things. Same kind of thing I was looking at on EOS on this daily is the 21 exponential moving average and the 55 exponential moving average, and I'm looking for crossovers. Right at this point, it crossed over at this level. We broke a trend line. It went up, came back down, tested right here. It kind of created this longer bullish trend line that we are on here. We had a little test at this point. So this red dotted line right here is what I'm watching for our guide of support going forward. The 21 tried to cross right here and it didn't. Um, because really there's not a lot of momentum for either side at the moment. But right now, the green positive directional index is still elevated, and the ADX is trying to bust up to build some momentum. So if we get this bust to the upside on the ADX and get us up into this 20 to 30 range, at the same time we're going to test these highs and we can break to the upside, then my target's going to be the 61.8% level, or kind of this zone where we get a nice 38% run if we can get some momentum and a break of a new high. Currently, the ADX is still not pumping yet, and but the bulls are still in control of the near term trend, but there's just not a lot of emphasis. So right now you can probably get a dip back down into these moving averages, maybe some more consolidation, and just like EOS, I would be looking at a dip down to the 61.8% level. Even if you want to get a little bit tighter, the moving average on the 21 moving average is right around 8 cents or so. And that's right where the 61.8% level is. So that would be the area if it does dip down that I would actually be a buyer in there, as long as nothing gets crazy on the indicators. But right now, buying on dips is still the sentiment. But the same kind of thing, when you look at this chart where these patterns come from, uh, looking back here, we had a low and a high, and then you had the 61.8% level. So you get this break right here of support. It comes back up and tests as resistance. This whole area right in here, and then you got the ADX moving up for the bears getting some control and some strength. Uh, and then you start working its way down. Didn't cross here, so you kept this bearishness in the market, and so you got this nice little bull or bear move to the downside, and then it was this move to the upside right here that you kind of came up, tested this 61.8% level, and then it finally broke this trend line. Kind of came down and tested. There wasn't a lot of momentum yet, but once the momentum kicked in right here, this is what we really liked, and we moved right up. I'm just showing some of the Fibonacci levels that I'm looking at. I do like this the full high and low here to where the 13 cents would be a nice target, but not until we break the upside and get some momentum behind it. But that's what I'm watching for. So I know that right now uh, ADA might be in the same kind of boat that EOS was, where you're getting this little bit of hype of its test net, so it might be another case of buy the rumor, sell the news, and right now we could break out to the upside, as that test net gets closer and brings more buying interest into the market. But then this would be the zone to sell, or if it stays in consolidation and then test net comes out, look for a downside here. But this trend line right here is the one to watch for your guide of support. So if this drops down and tests this trend line to the downside, watch the crossover on this moving average. See if the momentum starts to build for the bears. But right now the bulls are in control. And then of course, kind of watch the RSI, which right now is still relatively in the bullish zone. But we'll have to see if it dips down far enough. I would think it would probably start dipping down into the bearish zone if it starts to break this trend line. So buy on dips. If you want, 8 cents would be the first level, and then if it goes a little bit further, you're looking at 7.5 looks like. So anywhere between 7.5 and 8 sats. So or dollars or cents. Um, we should be good there. So, but I'm really looking for the breakout to the upside and get this nice little run back up to some nice area of resistance up here, and anywhere in this green zone would be the area that I would sell on the break to the upside. So that's what's happening in ADA. Hope everybody's having a good day. Any other questions on charts? I'm here to help. I'm at FiboSwanny out on Twitter. Just DM me with any questions, and I'll be happy to help you. Peace out.